So Tanisha Wright is the coach of the Atlanta Dream. She is somebody that has, I'm not going to lie, gotten the better of Caitlyn Clark quite a bit this year. But not today. But not today. Yeah, Chrissy Sides did her best impression of being the Clark stopper. Like, look, Chrissy Sides at times is going to be the Clark stopper. We have seen it, we've basically seen it when Teresa Weatherspoon, after the Sky beat them, they were like, how do you stop Caitlyn Clark? Well, you can't. You just try to take the ball out of her hands. Right after Chrissy Sides took the ball out of her hands for a whole half. But the Dream did a great job of stopping Caitlyn Clark, but they just did not today, especially late in that game. Outside of when Chrissy Sides tried to stop her, they actually couldn't. Early in that game, they couldn't stop Caitlyn Clark. She had 6-4-4 at the end of the first quarter. She had 6-4-4 at the start, early in the second quarter. And then you had also a situation where late on in the game, the Caitlyn Clark gravity got Leah Boston wide open, especially even for the game winner. Before we get on to it though, you guys are new to the channel. Subscribe. We're trying to hit 33.75k, and right now we are about 70 subscribers off. We're trying to hit that by the end of the day. But Caitlyn Clark, if you guys see what the Atlanta Dream have done to Caitlyn Clark in preseason, I know it's preseason, but well, Maya Cole was still on the roster in preseason. Kelsey Mitchell obviously didn't play. Celeste Taylor was getting burned, but Caitlyn Clark 12 points. First time they played, Caitlyn Clark 7 points. 7 points, more turnovers than assists. Third time they played, I think Caitlyn had 21, if I'm not mistaken. No, she only had 16. She had 16, 7, and 4 the next time they played. And the time before that, or the last time, Caitlyn Clark had 19, 7, and 7. Caitlyn Clark has not had 20 points in a game against Atlanta this year. Except the Atlanta Dream gave up 26 points today to Caitlyn. And it was just down the stretch. Caitlyn Clark went on a solo 8-0 run. People don't realize this, but from 67-61 to 69-all was a solo 8-0 run from Caitlyn, ending in a fadeaway corner three. The way that the Atlanta Dream were playing defense on her, they were allowing the Aaliyah Boston seal off every short roll. They were allowing Aaliyah Boston walk into the seal. And they put more pressure on Caitlyn Clark. They actually took pressure off Caitlyn Clark, by the way, to end the second quarter when they realized Caitlyn was not getting the ball. I saw Jordan Canada a few times help down off Caitlyn Clark. We haven't seen that all year. But late on in the game, the last play of the game, you can see this is where, in fairness, I got to give credit where credit's due to Chrissy Sides. Like, Chrissy Sides is a decent ATO coach. I think she's a horrible head coach for basketball, but she is a very solid ATO coach. I think she knows the game in a way. I think she's not a head coach. Like, she's solid at timeouts. She's not too bad as far as team chemistry and everything. But I'm trying to get the Aaliyah Boston play. Trying to get the Aaliyah Boston game tying play. Like, the play of the game in regulation. Here it is. And this is what we see with the over-reliance on guarding Caitlyn Clark. You give Aaliyah Boston an open layup. So you watch this. They are hedging off the screen. They are flat hedging off the screen. In fairness, they did give Caitlyn Clark that open shot, but Jordan Canada is right there because she's able to get under that screen because Aaliyah Boston set it properly. And watch what they do off this handoff. This is so wide open. You can see her. She's coming across. Like, look at the way they're guarding that handoff. So she's going over and she's giving Aaliyah Boston the lane. She's hedged. It's the exact same thing that happened in the Sun game at the start of the year. They're so worried about Caitlyn Clark that down two, she gets her ankles broken. They give Aaliyah Boston an open layup. Was there contact in that? No, Aaliyah Boston threw her right arm. I've seen fouls be called for less in this league. But you can just see the gravity. Like, they are so worried about getting to Caitlyn Clark that they are willing to give up an open layup by the end of this game. They are just that scared of her. They're that scared of her. Because you're looking at a team that, as the game went on, just could not keep up with the pace. You're looking late in the game, they go and get a score to put them up 2. Caitlyn Clark just runs and hits Temi Figbenle for an open layup. There's nothing you can do there. Everything here, you can see that. They are sending double teams to Aaliyah Boston. I don't think they can stop Aaliyah Boston either. But if you're looking late in the game, if you're looking late in the game here, they are doing everything they can to stop the two of them. They're just trying to stop that two-man game. Almost everything goes from Caitlyn Clark to Aaliyah Boston. Caitlyn Clark, they're sending in doubles. They are leaving the hottest three-point shooter in the league open. By the way, and this is not, but they couldn't deal with Caitlyn Clark. They couldn't deal with Aaliyah Boston either. They are willing to leave the hottest three-point shooter in the league wide open so that they can double-team Caitlyn Clark on drives. And you can see there, they leave Aaliyah Boston there. They're triple-teaming her. And then on the break, they're not able to deal with it. This is all, by the way, this is the fourth quarter. And this is how the fourth quarter started. This is how the fourth quarter started. That. Like, Caitlyn Clark into that. You're looking at the way Jordan Canada's trying to come off screens. How they gave, by the way, off this play right here, Temi Figbenley has an open layup if Caitlyn Clark doesn't shoot a 2K shot. Like a shot that's a bad shot in 2K. But if you look, again, this shot here was to end an 8-0 run. Caitlyn Clark, bang, from deep, hits that shot, 61. Then she goes and makes it 2. And then she goes and hits that for her own 8-0 run. The next bucket they get is a Caitlyn Clark long pass. So she was responsible for 10 points in a row. The next bucket after that is a Caitlyn Clark 2. And Kelsey Mitchell shooting the pull-up long 2 was the first non-Caitlyn Clark either point or assist to a open layup for 14 points. From 61 to 73. Caitlyn Clark went on a 12-point stretch in about a minute or two where everything was her. And from that point on, the way they defended changed so much. The way they guarded Caitlyn Clark changed so much. They were pressuring her out even higher. They were basically allowing the seal. They went from not allowing the seal to allowing the seal from Aaliyah Boston. And that was a big game changer. Look, that people are like, Caitlyn Clark had a bad game. I don't think she had the greatest game. But from down 6 to up, or to like being in that game, she literally by herself was responsible for 12 in a row for her team. And they tried everything. They started blitzing screens. It didn't work early. But I do have to give credit to Jordan Canada. She is one of the best defensive guards in this league. Like, 2-time steals leader, 2-time champion. She with the Storm for those 2 years. 2-time first team all defense and first team all defense last year. Like, she is elite at what it is. And they tried early on in that game to leave Jordan Canada on an island with her. Actually, no, sorry. They started the game by blitzing, and then halfway through they decided to leave Jordan Canada on an island, and then that did not work. It did not work. You saw from like blitzing, it wasn't really working early. And then for a few minutes, Christy Sides allowed Jordan Canada on an island to work on Caitlyn Clark. But once Caitlyn Clark started going, there was nothing Jordan Canada could do. There was nothing she could do. They started them blitzing, and then Caitlyn Clark's gravity scared the bejesus out of them, and they jumped up and gave Aaliyah Boston an open layup to tie the game. A great performance there. In fairness, Jordan Canada was pretty good. But looking back on it, Caitlyn Clark did a lot wrong. She did a lot good. The best player on the floor was Aaliyah Boston. And this video is going to be titled, They Had No Answer for Aaliyah Boston. Or for Caitlyn Clark. They had no answer for Aaliyah Boston either. They had no answer for either of them. They had an answer for Kelsey Mitchell. They just stopped her from shooting the ball. Kelsey Mitchell, I have not seen her take this many dumb shots in a while. Like, she was struggling to get open. They did a great job on her. They left Lexi Hull wide open. And she shoots 80% from 3. That was their answer. And that is team's answer. You have to leave Lexi Hull wide open. And she is starting to hit wide open threes. She is shooting practice shots at a percentage like it's practice. And that is how teams are now having to stop this team. You can't, with the way Aaliyah Boston's passing and everything, you cannot swing. You cannot double Caitlyn Clark anymore. And the Atlanta Dream showed every single defense to Caitlyn Clark. The only one that even slightly worked was Jordan Canada on an island. But once that stopped working, they couldn't stop them. And by them, they couldn't stop her, because to stop her, it would involve, like when they were trying to stop her, it left her open. And when they were trying to stop Aaliyah Boston, it left her open. They couldn't guard them. They could not guard this Fever team down the stretch. And that is what happens when you play the Caitlyn Clark, Aaliyah Boston pick and roll. When that is your main, when all of your offense is to get into the Caitlyn Clark, Aaliyah Boston pick and roll, especially in the half court, or obviously running in transition.